Hey guys, so we're in the studio today. I've done a slightly different setup so that I could try to work between the table where I do my jelly prints and over here on the wall where I paint most of my paintings. So let's see how it works. Okay, so bear with me, but I want to bring some different videos to you guys because so many of you have been asking me so many questions about different techniques, different things that you're doing in your studio, ways that you want to resolve using jelly prints and different things like that, as well as just other painting techniques and styles. So I do a lot of that in my studio, obviously, and I'm trying to work on bringing more of this to you guys. And I'm always in my studio working, but honestly, to stop and do the setup and all that, I've been acknowledgingly a little selfish, so I apologize. But I think once I get this setup figured out where I know I can just come in and I can work with you guys too and show you my processes and we can just have fun together, then I think it'll be a lot easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to joggle between this webcam that's going to be facing this wall where we're going to do a painting, and I can switch it back to my camera on my laptop to do work on the table, to show you some close-up stuff. But primarily what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how I adhere jelly prints as a beginning point for working on canvases and how I integrate them so that it doesn't look just like you just plop the piece of paper onto a canvas. I'm not a big fan of that kind of look. You know, I want it to look purposeful and intended. So that's what we're going to do today. So first, what we have to do is we have to start, I always start by getting my canvas going. So I'm going to first put a few layers on here to get it set, and it will be drying while we go back over to the table, and I have a few jelly prints, and we're going to select one. I've pretty much decided which one I want to use, but I want to show you guys that process. And it will be on the onion skin paper because a number of you have asked me to do more on the onion skin. You started working on your onion skins. A number of you have shared with me. You've even got onion skin as gifts. I think Band over there in UK, hey, how you doing, darling? Talked about the process of getting it as a gift because she had to get it shipped from the US, and customs and all that kind of stuff. But I promise you, whatever you have to go through to get onion skin, you are well rewarded in the process. So we're going to use onion skin because it integrates really nicely on the canvas. And so let's get started. I'm going to first go and get my brush and a white to begin on this canvas. All right? Okay. So I'll just be back and forth, but you know, you guys know I'm around. So this is actually a white, but I had a little bit of well, I guess it went away. I had a little bit of pink in this dish, but so this is just taking a regular. I'm messy, guys. You're gonna see how messy I am when I paint. And let's just go ahead and start putting it on the canvas. I'm using the this brand, you know, the Walmart brand, only in the white. This is the pink right now, but in the white, it's the Raleigh Dollar. And so I'm gonna start off. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Cool. I gotta hold this up here. That's funny. Blooper. Alrighty. Because normally I don't paint up on the wall like this on a canvas. I normally use a paper. But and I'm using an inexpensive canvas because I want to show you how we can build up layers on even inexpensive stuff. You don't have to have always the best. I normally do use the thicker canvas, you know, in my paintings, like the 1 inch, even like this right, I don't know if you can see these, even like this one. So, you know, normally I'll use sort of that 1 inch, but these are just the little inexpensive ones you get from the art supply store, and they're fine, especially if you want to practice this technique, you know, you want to figure it out, you don't want to just jump right on a really good canvas, then, you know, go the inexpensive one. It's all good. You can make art with anything. So that's a white. You can't see the white off right now, obviously. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back with let's use this Blick Portrait Paint, okay? If I'm too close to this camera, I apologize. Because like I said, I don't know what this is gonna look like, but hopefully it'll be good. Like everything's falling apart today. Okay, so now I just put a little bit, you can see how I'm mixing this dish. So I put a little bit of this portrait paint in there. And here again, I'm just going to get color on the canvas. And you'll see where I'm going for, because these colors are in my Gelliprint. So when you're doing this, just start off by getting color on your canvas. That's going to be the colors that are in your Gelliprint. And you see, I'm kind of like all over the place. I just kind of like to do really broad strokes of color. This is how I paint. I really kind of use an acrylic extender just to thin my paints, because I like to do a lot of layers. I kind of paint the way I Gelliprint, or I Gelliprint the way I've always painted, which is layers. And I'm just really making, I'm using a, probably what, a 1.5 inch brush. And so just really get that color on there. And I'm working from the lightest to darkest. So now I'm going to go a little bright. No, I think I'm going to go with the pink now. This is the portrait paint in the Dolly Loney. This is. You get a little bit more extender. And let's get this pink up here. And a little bit after this, after probably another 2 layers, I'm going to show you the Gelliprint that we're working from. So this will make sense. So let's just get some pink in here. See, I'm just working all over the canvas here. Got a lot of extender in here. So you can use an acrylic extender. Anything that will sort of make it a little bit of a wash. So now I'm going to take a little bit of this, what is this, the yellow ochre, in the same brand, the Walmart brand. And now I went right into some color on there, and I'm going to take a little bit more in my extender. And I'm just going to blend now. I really want to get some color going in here, so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Get a little bit more. Okay. This is how I work. This is the inner workings of the studio. Just moving this color around some. And let's get this paper towel, and I'll move it like this too. Yeah, this is getting really good. I'm leaving this bottom half like that on purpose, and you guys will see why when I go to set this up. Let me see. Step back. Okay, I think that's going to be pretty good right now. Let me just get a little bit of white. Going a little bit of the white. This is actually the cheap apple barrel from the craft store white. And the reason why, it doesn't have any pigment in it. So I want to go over with a white, and I got some extender in here, but I don't want it to be I just want it to be translucent, right? So this is going to kind of make it, this is just going to thin things down a little bit. That ochre is still going to be there. But see, it's just smoothing it out a bit. It's blending it some. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, so we're going to let this dry. And cool. Great. Okay, so now I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to flip my camera so you guys can see the desks and real life in the studio. Oh my goodness, yay, it's working. Okay, so here's the desktop. So here are some jelly prints that I had. These were just, like, you know how I like my old wall looking ones. This is one with my square stencil, like I showed you guys how to use the sheet protectors to make stencils. Here's one using that script transfer process with my favorite wood block. And this was all from the same series. So I think I'm going to use this one on the painting. But I want a little something else on here. So I'm going to use my small jelly print, and I want my little circle there. So I'm going to take, but I'm going to tear this first. So let's tear it down first. Okay, so you know how the jelly prints, we have this edge that, because I used the 8.5 by 11 plate, right? And it leaves me an edge here. I want to get rid of that edge, and I want to clear everything up so it looks pretty much like this edge here. And you know my favorite decal ruler. I know you guys have found this one, the Westcott. You can get it on Amazon, but it's the decal edge. And so we're going to use this one, the one that really, this is a really broad decal, and this is a more slight one. We're going to use this edge because I really like what it does. You can see that. It really just, right against the white. This really makes a torn edge, but it's more controlled, but yet it's going to blend into the canvas nicely. So we go to tear it, always lay it down, long edge, get it nice and flat, really press it against. I'm using this watercolor pad because there's a little bit of a tooth in this paper, and it's also pretty squishy, so I can actually really bear down hard so that this paper won't move on me when I go to tear it. And always try to tear the biggest edge, or the longest piece, but always be careful, tear it towards you, because I want to preserve this. I don't want to tear into my paper. You would think that you want to do this edge, which you could, but it's a little harder to, well, I'll show you this way too. It's a little harder to pick it up, but you can, as long as you have enough to grab. The main thing is to hold this down tight so it doesn't move on you. We get a nice edge there. Now see, on this edge, it's not as much, and I want to preserve as much of this as possible. So I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to very carefully put a lot of pressure on the ruler, and I'm just going to take small steps and pull it towards me. See how that moved? So we just want to go back in and grab it. Let's really get this. Why does this want to move so much? See, I'm right on the edge, and it's so much harder to try to. Okay. Doesn't want to cooperate, so I'll just go in a little further and pick this up. And we'll just have to take small steps to get it. But it'll do. Just always pull towards the decal, not away from it. That way you actually get your deckled edge, okay? And then this one should be able to lay it down and get it. It's a little bit more. That was a little harder to do because, of course, it was right at the edge. And just take your time with it. It's better to take your time than to ruin your print. Okay, so here we are with the Gelliprint and all the edges, and you can see the colors. So you can see why I was prepping my canvas with the pinks, the ochres, because these were the colors that were in this particular print. This is what it looks like facing you guys. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little circle. I'm going to put it right back on top of this. So I just put a little dot on there, and I'm just going to move it around. And just kind of, actually, I don't like that. I want it to be a little more, I want it bigger than that. I'm just going to wipe this off. I'll do it again. Let's make it a bigger circle. Okay. Can you see? Okay, good. Okay, better. So I'm going to just get this right on here just to kind of, great, yay. See, just to kind of get it right on top to unify those two areas. And then I'm just going to get some marks in this Gelliprint. Keeping the circle thing going. You can see how I kind of really scraped up in there. So that's perfect. Yay. This extra piece, I'm going to go to one of these prints over here, like this one, and just go ahead and lay that circle down. So I have it. So when I come back to this print, it'll be there. Okay. We go ahead and score into it some too. See that? Perfect. Okay, now we have this. This is really nice and unified. Okay, so now we're going to, let's go back to the other camera so that you guys can see. Let's talk about placement and what have you. Okay, so while this is drying, we're going to talk about placement. So first of all, you see how this, you can hardly even tell the difference right now. I'm using the exact same paints, but we're actually unifying this field. So when we go to put this down, it's going to recede pretty well. And then we're going to also paint on top of it. You'll see what we're going to do. But what I want to do is I want to think about my composition so that it doesn't look like I just stuck a piece of paper on here either. So that's why I left this bottom field here, because I'm actually going to make this, I'm actually going to separate my painting into two sections. So let's say the lower fourth of the painting is going to be separated with a different color field. And we're going to do some different things to it. Okay, in the meantime, this top half will be where I'm going to ultimately attach this print. But I think as I'm standing here, I'm going to go ahead and I like the placement. That's a good amount from the edge here to the top. It's pretty balanced. So while I'm letting this dry, I'm going to, I have an idea for what I want to do down there. So let's just see. Let me get, let's see. Let's just see. I want to use something I think I'm out of. Oh, yay, got a little bit. Yay. Of course, my quinacridone nickel ozone gold. You know how much we love this one. So got a little bottle of it here. So thankful because my big bottle is gone and I definitely need to buy some more. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna start off with put some of this down here. Oh, that's really rich. Yay. Just try to get a nice line across there, just to kind of, you know, we're dividing the canvas right now. White. I constantly blend my colors when I paint. Don't be afraid. Just keep on putting layers. There really aren't any mistakes. And you can always take color off. Believe it or not, you really can. Just wanted this to be a little more vibrant with that print up the top. That look pretty even. It's looking good. Let's grab the print and take a look again. Yeah, that's starting to come together now. And just play back and forth between the two areas. Don't be afraid to sort of play back and forth and see what you come up with. Now let's get one of my small paint brushes. And I'm gonna get some of this, when I made the circle, I actually used, I'll show you the color I use. I'm just mixing a little bit of extender in here. So we used dark deep blue, the Blip matte acrylics, okay? You guys see me looking over there just because I'm trying to look on it, try to see what you guys are seeing. Oh my goodness. This is like my mother always says, that's like walking and trying to chew gum at the same time. I don't know when I hit the canvas there. Okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna put a layer over this. Let's just do a little bit. Okay, now I'm always turning my canvas and stuff too. So let's turn this canvas right now. I'll put it like that. And let's get some scripting. And I'm just going, I really don't have a plan for this. I'm really just kind of like talking to you guys and just here in the moment. It's like when I do one thing, I let the next thing speak to me. So try not to have a plan, just get in there and like start working, let the print start talking to you. Let's just see what we're looking like here. Okay. Alrighty, it's coming along. We're getting there. So we're gonna let that dry down. And while that's drying, I'm going to come back with, let me see, what do I have in there? I'm gonna come back with a white. Let's do a white. I'm gonna do a little bit of, I'm gonna start making this sort of old wall thing looking while we're waiting for this other start drying at the bottom. And it's probably going to integrate because I think it's going to run, which is good. I want it to run. We'll see what happens when it does. Okay. I'm sort of putting it on thick up here. And I want it to start running, but I'm going to kind of take my time with it. This is kind of like, I'm just sort of working in, just sort of making sort of an old wall kind of texture, you know, that kind of thing that I like. And here I've just used the dish that I've been doing a lot of mixing in. Where are we? Right here. So it still has a little bit of ochre in it. It's still a little bit of pink. You know, and I'm just going back with the white, and I'm just going to start making a little more extender. I'm just going to keep on working these colors. And because I'm using colors that are all harmonious, it's on the same palette, etc., it's going to be fine. You won't get muddy or anything. We talked about that before. So just use colors that are close on the color wheel, so when you go to work with them, they don't get muddy. That's what I do. I have to do like sort of monochromatic anyway. And then when I do bold things like this, I'm gonna let it dry. So I'm not gonna just start working right back in it because I want it to dry before I start going back over top of it. Let's see how this works. And by the way, these like little dishes, these little glass dishes, I use these for mixing my paints. I get them at the dollar store. They're like four in a pack for $1. So they're great for mixing. Okay, here we go. Now we're really going to just start getting mixing going. Great. Let this, hold on. I'm kind of used to working on a bigger canvas than this, so generally, while this is running, I have another piece that I can take this brush and go on over there, and it's all good. This is as much a challenge for me as I'm challenging you guys. So I'll put a little extra around the edges while we're waiting to use up the paint. I think I'll probably actually mount this on some board or something, maybe. Picking it up, I don't know, let's see. Okay, see how that's dry enough now that with the extender, it's not, I'll put some more down there, let's see. Oops. Almost grabbed that blue again, no good, no good. It's good. See, I'm getting that yummy, yummy old wall thing on it. This is great. So now I know I wanted to obliterate some of this lettering. ones that look like maybe graffiti or, you know, I've kind of been playing around with that in the studio just here recently, just kind of like making it look just a thin layer over it so it really dulls it down. Like you can see some of it, but it's still, you know, not super bright. And now what I'm going to do, I've got a little bit of my extender on here. I'm going to take some of this nickel ozo yellow, the golden, and I'm going to put a little bit right on my brush like that. You guys see? Okay. And then I'm going to just come right in here and just integrate some of these lines. And then I'm going to go back with a little bit of this white, the creamy color I have. Break it up some more. Really work that in there. Come along. Let's get some more color. Need some more of this extender. Really thin things out. This is how I paint, guys, when I'm here by myself. It's kind of what I'm doing. I just have this back and forth process. So I'm going to blend this up in here now. And while this is drying, get this, knock it back a little bit. And I think I'm going to get some pink. I kind of want to keep on so here again, I'm working right on the brush now. That's this pink, portrait pink. And my canvas is plenty wet, so I can really just want to knock the yellow back just a little bit, get more pink in there. This. More pink. You know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get some gold on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my jelly plate and I'll show you guys. Get some more of this running thing going. Okay. And let's grab our piece of paper just to see how we're doing. Yeah, see, it's coming along. We're starting to get a nice integration. And I'm basically, I guess I didn't think about it, but see how this has there's a lower part on here, like this. I'm just noticing that. See, it's so much of painting is just intuitive, or you just gotta go with your flow, because you can be almost through the process and you start realizing, oh, look how this matches up. But I didn't think about it at the time. So it kind of mirrors it. And we're getting a lot of harmony going on there. So when I go to adhere this to this, it's going to be good. And I still have to paint over top of that. So what was I getting ready to do? Gold. That's what I was going to do. Gold. So I'm going to get get my little dirty jelly plate. You know how much I like that. And I think I'm just going to just put a couple sort of gold. Okay. So you see how I've done this? I've just taken and put dots of paint. I'm gonna just bring it down, make these sort of lines. And then let's just go ahead and just put some marks right over the top of this. Yeah, perfect. So that just integrated these nicely. And I'm gonna come get one of my old pieces here, like this piece right here. So I want to pull some of this paint off. So I'm just gonna pick it up. And this is on this print right here that we put the circle on. So let's just go and pick some of it up. Yeah. I like that. All righty. Let's go back and look at it again. Yeah. So see how that gold is going to integrate. It's kind of creating a space between these two zones here. Let's just extend them now with my with the end of my paintbrush there. Perfect. Alrighty. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to I'll figure out what I want to do now. I think that I want to, I'm gonna let this dry. Because what I want to do is I want to take this down, this color down a little bit more. So I don't want to do it until this dries, so that I'll keep this. And I think I'm gonna knock that back a little bit. But in the meantime, this is drying up nicely. So while we're doing this, why don't I go ahead and adhere the painting to the paper, because I'm pretty much done with this part. So I think I want to go ahead and get this down. Yeah, see, I want to get this down. So I wanted some action to go underneath here, so it wasn't just solid, but not too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the Yes glue. So I'm gonna switch you back over here, guys. And we're going to do okay. Let's get some of the parchment paper. This is always good to glue on. And that in there. And I like to use this just a putty knife. And the Yes glue, where's my Yes glue? Over here. This is coming along. I'm back over looking at the painting. Oh my goodness. Just want to just go around over here a bit. Okay, so this is the Yes glue. I've told you guys about the Yes. I love it. Yes, I do. The Yes paste. I know some of you guys have already started getting it. So what I'm going to do is it's a thick paste. So to me, as opposed to using a brush, it's just so much easier just to use this putty knife. So put some on and then just start working the glue out to the edges like this. So you get a good layer on it without it being too thick. And to me, it's a lot easier to spread it. So work from the middle out. That way the paper won't start curling up on you, because it will start taking moisture. So if you kind of work from the middle of the paper out, the fibers, they start absorbing moisture, start relaxing. So when it curls, at least you've already gotten it all the way out. Okay, so you just want to make sure you get a good layer. You don't want too much on there. You kind of see what I'm doing here. You know, you want enough that it's going to grip, but you don't want too much that it's going to just be kind of goopy. Okay. So now let's go ahead and put this. I'm gonna grab my bone folder, Because that's what I use. I've talked about these before. That's what I use to put this down. So let's go ahead and switch back to the wall. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna bring the painting over here and lay it down. That way, I can put it on while it's flat. How's that? Okay, so here's the painting right now. So I want to get this, got to step back because I really want to try to get my placement right. Can you guys see this? Okay, good. And this stuff is really pretty sticky. So I want to, fortunately, we can move it around a bit before committing it. I want to get my placement right. Okay, so now starting from the middle, work out. We really want to get these edges down. Now I have some extra left on here, so where these edges are not going completely down, I'm just gonna run. I don't want so much glue coming off the sides that it may interfere with me continuing to paint easily. So that's why you don't want too much glue, but you want enough that these edges are gonna adhere. And it's not like paper putting it down to this canvas. So the nice thing about it is that, you know, you can still work it, pull it up a bit. This is not going to be dry right immediately. I had some extra left on here, so I can just kind of work right off my palette knife to pull color onto it. Okay, see, and using this bone folder is so cool because it just doesn't mess up your paint, doesn't pull your paint up, it doesn't scrape it off. It's smooth and it just gives you a nice adhesion. So here again, you know, because I do like the old wall look, I'm always going for that kind of feeling. I don't know, graffiti or sort of like you know, old advertisements on the wall that get torn off. So this kind of theme, you know, if I kind of think, you know, when you have your sort of your theme or how you know you like to work, if you really think about the concepts that go with it, you can actually make any technique. You sort of figure out the technique that you want that's going to go with the way you paint and the way you see your art. For me, I love old walls. I'm gonna flip this back now because this is down. And so if I'm thinking about old walls, and of course I'm thinking about, you know, things like, let me get this, graffiti or old advertisements that get torn off the wall. And so I'm sort of going for that. And I you know, that's my thing, like they say. So this has got a while, still gonna dry down in there, but I'll see if I can get it a little closer. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm over here looking to see what you're seeing. Yeah. You can see how that's all coming together. Okay. So now let's go ahead and get some more color to start integrating. And I had my brush over here in a little bit of water so it wouldn't get too dried out while we're doing the other process. I'm going to get a little bit of this muted white that I made. And let's just see what happens. Let's start playing and, you know, got a lot of pink around the edges of this piece. So let me just get some pink on my brush. my bowl. I'm gonna tap a little bit. You can see I'm gonna tap a little bit of this pink right off on the edge. So I can come back to it. I don't want it to get too white, but I want to just sort of integrate things a little bit. Just a little bit. Just to see what, yeah. Let me step back a bit. Great. I'm gonna get some of the yellow ochre. Just a dab. Just put a little bit on my brush. So I want to just kind of keep on working these colors in while they're wet. This color is so strong. See how strong it is? But go back to this white. Let's just blend out still. Yeah, there we go. Blend it out a bit. Good. I just want to get more. Let me see. I want to get some of this nickel ozo because I want on the bottom of this Gelliprint is a little bit of this color, this bright tone. So here again, I'm just putting a little bit on. Let me get it out. That's too much for that. Okay, so see, I want to brighten this up a little bit in there, just to kind of make that pop a bit. And then I'll use my paper towel, just kind of rub this around a little bit. Because now what we're doing is we're just playing with moving the color around for, let's see, I gotta use, grab another brush here. I'm just going to kind of play with moving this color around. To integrate what we're doing. And when I put, see, I'm just, never be afraid to use different things. Like I'm using this paper towel. And what I'm doing is I'm integrating. I'm not trying to make it matchy-matchy. I'm really trying to make it look like, well, maybe there was other stuff underneath on this wall. And, now we're kind of, painting on top of it. I don't know if I was covering it. Sorry, guys. I sort of want it to look like, sort of like to steal the character of the old wall. So we're not trying, you could work differently. Maybe you really want to really make it match or something, whatever your ideas are. There's no right or wrong here. We're just making it happen. So now I'm going to get my big brush again, more extender. Oh, I like where this is going now. I really do. Okay, so now I have this sort of yellowy, buffy color. It's the white. It's the same white I've been working in. It's got the pink. Now it's got some of that nickel ozo in it. Can you guys see it? Okay. So let's see what we've got here. So I'm going to get some of that. This go here. Work some extender in it. Okay. And I'm gonna go back with some white in here. Here's my paper towel. So I just, you just work. You just don't, you just kind of see what happens. It's all designed to, okay, I like what this is doing. So now I need to get some white in my bowl here. Clean this brush. Get some of this yellow off of it now. But I'm gonna come back with this thin white. Well, it's not white. It's gonna be like a buff, So the color I've been playing with, using the cheapo craft paint. And I'm putting it right in this bowl with this other stuff. Hope this is making sense to you guys. With nothing else, you can see how I really work. I probably break all the rules, but that's because, for me, I'm going after a certain, now see how that's starting to clot? I like that. So I wanted that sort of paste plastery kind of look that you get when you put paper on a wall and, I'm so messy. I'm spilling so much stuff on the floor. It's crazy. Why I have to work out and why my garage is perfect. Because I should have another. Hold up a second. I want to get a little less pigment in here. That's what I'm trying to do. I made it a little too thick. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, there we go. I want this run thing going on. One thing about that golden, you see, it goes a long way. It's like, it's hard for me to knock it back right now because it's so much yellow. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a clean towel. So I want it to be more white. So I'm taking a clean paper towel, just start wiping some of it off. There are like no mistakes, trust me. I just kind of keep on blending until I get what I want. So you guys can see real life in the studio. This is what I do. And I'm liking some of this. I just don't want so much of it. And let me take, I've got some old Gelliprint here. Oh, let me just take some of this paper here. This vanilla paper I like to use. And I can take some of this up like this too, see? See how it's going? So it's revealing, I like this. It's transferring some of that around. This is great. Happy accidents, always. So I'm pulling some of this paint up onto this surface because this manila is very absorbent. See, it's pulling the paint up. And it's also moving it around for me too, which I like. Let me see, where's my white paintbrush? Here we are. Great, this is good. Okay, getting there. Let me get some more. But you see, just, once you get a good surface going, you got that first number of layers, right? And so now what we're doing is we're just keep on working. Don't be afraid of real time, just work what you got back in there. You have your concept. I like how that knocked that back down. And that was just basically me taking drying off a lot of my paint. So let's get some pink, because the pink is really good at knocking back some of this yellow. The goldens is really strong. That's the difference between the goldens paint, which is a really high pigmented paint. It's got a lot of pigment in the emulsion, and the cheaper. But that's why I like mixing them back and forth, because I like working the layers and kind of working them all in. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so I want some white. See if I can get this white going without this yellow. So much yellow. Oh, I know what I can do. I'll use a slightly thicker white. But I'm really liking what's happening now. This is really, you see how it's just really starting to integrate. Like we're getting all those layers, and that's what you want. Definitely want all those layers like that. So I'm mixing some white here. Kind of extending that back up a little bit. Let's look at that. Yeah, I'm liking this. And see, it's mimicking the white up in there. I started noticing I wanted a little bit more balance there. Let's take a step back. Okay. You know what, guys? I really think I'm done. It's funny. It's like, you just get to this place where it's a wrap. I like it. It's got the right amount of grunge for me. Everything is integrated. Yeah, so I'm gonna let that dry up. And I'll show you guys the finished version of it. I'm trying to get a little closer there so you can see it. I'm gonna end up showing you the finished once it dries. Right? So I want to have a line, but I don't want it to be so sort of noticeable. You want it, but not want it. So you want it there, but I don't want it to look like I pulled a piece of tape off and it's like really perfect, because it doesn't go with what's going on with the painting. All righty, so there we are, finished. So, yeah. So what you think? So this is how I work, guys, literally. I showed you from start to finish a piece, and I really do like this piece. And here again, it's all that Gelliprint. So you can actually start with a central concept, and then just think about how you would want to work your paint around it. So So now you have something that's layered, it's more interesting than just, you know, all paint on a surface. Got a little collaging going on here. We've been able to integrate our Gelliprint. This text right here is mirrored in the text that I did when I did the text transfer that I showed you guys in earlier videos. I'll probably do it again. So it's mirroring it here. Here's my woodblock. So you get a lot of things going on that if I tried to maybe just work right on here, like I wouldn't have gotten this woodblock on there like that. And I wouldn't have gotten this transfer. Plus, I like the idea of collaging, and I like layers. And you saw, I mean, how many layers did we do? 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I probably did at least 15 layers. I believe in layer. I believe in using a medium to thin the paints out and just work in thin layers, then glopping a whole lot of paint right on, trying to get, you can't get to that color. You can't get to this level of play on your surface and back and forth in the colors by just trying to put it all on at one time. At least I can. Maybe other people can, but this is the way I do it. So, alrighty, I hope this gives you guys something to be inspired with, and grab those jelly plates, I mean, all those prints that you guys already had, and get a canvas. Just go to the print you already have one. Just get yourself an inexpensive canvas. You saw what I use. This is just one of those little benchy bows. I mean, you know, it's no big deal. And go ahead and play around. And you got your yes glue. You can go back and forth like I did. I put new prints. I use my jelly plate. I use a small one that I like to use, right? And you know, so we just work color right on here and put stuff down. So there you go. So anyway, if you're already not a member of the Clarity Thru Color Facebook group, please join it. It's a close. So when you go to Facebook and you put in Clarity, C-L-A-R-I-T-Y, Thru is spelled T-H-R-U, color, C-O-L-O-R. Then I will, and you do a request, I'll approve it. And in that group, that's where you can share things with me. You can ask me questions. I do monitor at least 3 or 4 times a week. So any questions, anything you want to show, it's a safe place for us to show our work and share. There are a lot of people in there that just doing the fun of it, art therapy. There are artists that are exhibiting and showing their work. There's all level of us in there, but it's a safe group, safe place just to, you know, and if you don't want to put your work in, still join and just see what other people are doing until you feel that you may want to share. But it's a good place just to part of a community where we're just having very fun. And I'll be back soon. Take care. Bye-bye.